Do you want to delve into the world of African mythology and learn more about the gods and what I'm saying right now? Well, there is one way, the Culture membership. It's on Patreon, and for only $5 a month, you get exclusive content, ad-free episodes, exclusive polls, fan requests, and a special newsletter, which I will be making in 2024. So, if you really want to delve into the world of African mythology, then I suggest the Culture membership. And also, as a special deal for listeners, I will give you a 7-day free trial. So a whole week of free for the membership. So, check out the Culture Show membership today. And welcome to the Culture Show, the show where I talk about African mythology and how it relates to us today. I'm AC3, your host. I'm a total mythology geek. I love all mythologies, and I've been curious about African mythology, so I decided to learn more about it, and I will tell you what I've learned and how it relates to us today. On today's episode, we'll talk about how inequality came into the world all around. So stay tuned. On last week's episode, we talked about part 4 of the creation story, how Agembo outlived Olokan. So, today's story will be about Oloran and how inequality came into the world, the plan for last week's episode. But first, character introductory. Character introductory? First up, you got Oloran, the supreme god, almighty deity. And then you got the village of Ile Ife. And Eshu, the trickster god. That's pretty much it. So let's dive into the story of how inequality came into the world. When we last left the village of Ile Ife, it was just made by Ormila. The humans were shaped into clay and breathed into life by Oloran. So now these people are living happy and free. And they were all the same. But one guy did not like that they were all the same. Why? And he asked Oloran this question. Why is it that we're all the same? We would like inequality and differences among us. Now Oloran knew that differences would just lead to strife and chaos. So he sent Eshu down to explain this. No, you do not want differences. It will just lead to strife, chaos, and death. But the people of Ile Ife did not listen. No, we need differences so we cannot be the same among our people. So, Oloran, get this, literally handed out differences to everybody in the market. And just as Oloran predicted, chaos ensued. Strife, fighting, and more. And that's why we are all unequal. The end. And that's how inequality came into the world. So, how does it relate to us today? Well, first, of course, differences. That's what the whole story was about. The people demanded inequality. So, Oloran gave them inequality. Well, first, tried to tell them not to, but they didn't listen. So inequality came. And chaos ensued. But sometimes, chaos does not ensue. Sometimes our differences is what makes us special. Like, I'm really good at talking, and Eli, well, doesn't really talk that much. So sometimes it's our differences that what makes us special, and that makes us be able to do all this cool stuff. Like actors can act, and athletes can play, and podcast hosts can podcast. So it's our differences that what make us special. And it's not only chaos, but unique, crazy world was also made from the differences that Oloran gave out. And that's how it relates to us today. Time for today's question of today. And today's question of today is, what makes you unique? What makes you different from everybody else? Well, for me, it's really my talking. I love to talk to people, talk about sports and things. When I started this podcast, I also love mythology. I mean, I've read maybe every single Rick Riordan book alive. So, yeah, it's really big, so that's what makes me unique. But what makes you unique? Let me know in voice message and comments, and maybe your answer can be featured on the podcast. And that's the show. Thank you for listening to The Culture Show, the show where I talk about African mythology and how it relates to us today. On the next episode, it's a special story about the trickster god Eshu. Also, happy holidays, everyone! I hope you guys have a blissful holiday season with all the shopping and everything to do. So happy holidays, everybody! Also, make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye! It's the holiday season, which means it's time to shop till you drop for other people. So if you want the latest shirts, hats, mugs, and hoodies, well, I know where to look. I have just released merchandise on TeePublic, the website that has the best t-shirts. And now I am selling my shirts, hats, mugs, tapestries, and more on TeePublic. You can get the dopest shirts, all representing African gods. So if you need something cool and dope for your loved one this holiday season without breaking the bank, then you need the Culture Show shirts, hats, and mugs merchandise now out on TeePublic. Check it out.